Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my fellow defenders. This is Chris, and as usual, welcome to my channel, One and All. This topic is one that is one we all need to work on together, and that's the hatred. I was just watching a PD Lumina video. I actually subscribed to him. He subscribed to me on my other channel, the Barnun 11967. And being a licensed massage therapist, which I am, I've been a licensed massage therapist since 1996. Actually, since 1995. I've been practicing since 1996. So you're talking about 15 to 16 years. I'm very good at sensing people's emotions. And his last video that he just did, you can almost hear him holding back, almost like the tears. And I commend him for how he's handling it. Because I've noticed, and I've seen it with a lot of the truthers like myself and others out there, the people who want to do this to help people, that after a while of the negativity and the hatred from people who don't even show their faces gets to people like us. Because caring people have a heart. Caring people worry. Caring people actually feel. So when you get this sense of, wow, I'm going to do a great thing. I'm going to help people. I'm going to inform people. I'm going to give them the truth. I'm going to save the world. And you get, even if it's 1% of the people hating you, it almost blows your mind. And I see it with so many of these other people making videos that it's starting to affect them as well. See, my thing is this. Everybody has a right to their own way of thinking. But why is it so difficult for a person to just speak in an intelligent way? I love debate, but I don't love it when it's insulting, or when it's an attack, or when it's making comments that you can't prove just to try and put somebody down. The information that's out there is just a Google click away. And yet so many people refuse to do it. And I'll tell you something. PD Lumina, if you're watching this, I give you the most amount of respect for that last video you did. And I feel your pain. And it is frustrating. Because you know what? People like you and I, and so many other people out there that are trying to speak the truth, I could see it in their videos over time, where it just beats us down. And you know what? I would rather be a caring person who gets beat down than an uncaring person that does the beating. I just do not understand it. And I really hope that people watch this, watch it with an open mind and say, you know what? It's time we talk to one another, love one another, help one another. All this bickering and fighting and name-calling and insulting, it just is, there's no place for it anymore. And you know what? One of my problems is I might care too much. And you know what? At the end of the day, when my last breath is taken and I think back on my life, I will say that was a great quality to have an abundance of. Caring. Because all the people that insult, and I'm not just talking about people who insult me, there are people who are nasty to every single person that I've ever seen that does any kind of positive message. I don't understand it. And in a way, I'm glad that I don't. But all those people that do the insulting, 99.9% of them will never show their face. There are government people who are hired to do negativity. There are some kids who may just find it funny. And then there are those who are just angry people. And I wish there was some miracle cure or some miracle pill that they could take and it releases their anger. That isn't a narcotic drug. Because I was one of those angry people. That's the ironic part. I was one of those people that would look at the news, and I was so mad at Republicans, for example. And now I see it's both sides. They work together. They work united to get us who are divided. And they're winning. And that's why they've been doing this for hundreds of years. And they must be blown away by how they do the same things over and over again and get away with it. And how easily we're distracted. I mean, look at sports. Sports is the Roman Colosseum of our era. Keep them entertained and you'll keep them distracted. Do you ever notice that you're getting more and more angry and you don't know why? Do you think there's no reason for it? If there's no reason for things, that means there's no purpose for things. And if there's no purpose for things, that means everything happens accidentally. Which means the family you have, the people you love, the situations that you encounter are all just random acts. I would not want to live in a world if that's the case. And there's no way that anybody can tell me that that's the case. And I'm telling people, it's okay to disagree. I would never sit here on some high horse and say, oh, listen to what I say and take it as gospel. No. Just because I have an opinion doesn't mean I'm right. Just the same as just if you have an opinion doesn't make you right. Opinions and philosophy are just one's perception of what they see and hear in life. And just because you do not believe in something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And you cannot prove everything to justify that it exists or doesn't exist. And I'll give you a prime example, since most people want proof. Show me love. Show me jealousy. Show me hatred, rage, confusion, sadness. Show me the body part that creates them. Draw me love, what it looks like, and where it comes from. Show me who has ever taken a picture of a jealousy sighting. That physical jealousy is right there. Okay? You can't prove love. You can't prove jealousy. You can't prove hatred. And yet, we know it's there. Why? Because we feel it. So if you base everything on, well, if you can't prove it, it means it doesn't exist. Then I want somebody to show me proof of love, jealousy, hatred, vanity, all of those emotions. Show me where they come from. Show me what they look like. You can't. But yet you feel them. And how do you know that? Because you react to them. And apparently it seems that hatred and anger are some of the strongest emotions. And yet again, we can't prove them. But yet you allow them to consume you. So this is dedicated to all the truthers, all the people who want to set us free, all the people who can communicate rationally, even if they disagree. I commend each and every one of you, and I share your pain of how hard this is. I feel sorry for those that choose to stay asleep, who choose to not research, who choose to, instead of creating facts, create nothing but fights. It's a hard struggle, but you know what? Use it like I do, as motivation. Because when you give up, they win. And sometimes it's okay to have anger, but it's not okay to use it in an angry way. I get angry. I get frustrated. You should see some of the emails I've gotten over these past few months. I've had death threats. I had a person today telling me that I need medication. Do I sound like an irrational person? Do I sound or act like a crazy human being? Or is it just because some people just do not understand what I'm trying to do, and the only way they can comprehend it so they could sleep at night is to justify it through anger and hatred and insult? But let me ask those who do that, how is that making life better? Wars have been throughout our history, and what have they solved? Has any war made us better as people? Have we progressed? The anger is still there. The hatred is still there. We need to seek the truth. And I'll tell you something. Like I said, I've only been awakened, quote unquote, awakened since February of this year. I came onto YouTube months ago, and I actually used to do just little cartoons on my other channel. Then I started talking about my coin collection, and then it just skyrocketed from all the information that I was given. And that was some scary stuff. But never once did I insult anybody for giving it to me. I thanked them. And if they were wrong, I realized, well, that's one less thing I have to worry about. But I've given everything a chance. Why is it so many people just refuse to give something a chance? If you don't agree with it, that's fine. But it's like any TV show. If you're flipping through the channels and you don't like what you're seeing, why watch it? Just change it. But I commend all of the people that, despite the hatred they get, despite the anger, despite the accusation and the insults, you stay here and keep your message going. And to all of you, I say thank you. Because you know what? People like you and I may see an elderly woman and that needs help being walked across the street. And so many people will ignore that elderly woman. Some people might even try and hurt that elderly woman. Some of you, like you and I, would actually help that elderly woman across the street. Now, are we doing it for a thank you? Absolutely not. Are we doing it for a reward? Absolutely not. Are we doing it to score points from the Almighty above? Absolutely not. But wouldn't it be nice to hear a thank you every now and then? To feel appreciated for what you do? You don't expect it, but it's still nice to hear. Just imagine helping an elderly person across the street, and when you bring them to the other side, they turn around and insult you. That's a hard thing to have to deal with. I don't care how strong you are. And I'm a very strong person. This is the thing I want to tell people. Don't mistake kindness for weakness. And just because I have certain views, you can insult my intelligence all you want. I have issues that I have to deal with in my life that I do not talk about medically. Everybody has some kind of problem, physically, mentally. But you know what? I am a rational human being. I think. I feel, I process, and I communicate with as much intelligence as I've been allowed to obtain. And to insult somebody for their beliefs or their ideals or even just their opinions is a wrong way to show the world that you are a good person. I know I'm a good person. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are very good people. And to you, I say thank you. Because I know you don't need to hear it. But I guarantee you, it's appreciated. And all the people who do nothing but hate, I say this to you. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Because would you want your children to think and act the way you do? And distilling nothing but hatred. It's okay to disagree. It's not okay to beat somebody up for their disagreement of what you feel may be right. Because if you boil anything down to its purest form, everything is debatable. Everything is speculation. Everything is someone's interpretation. It doesn't guarantee it's right, but it also doesn't guarantee it's wrong. There will be people who will watch this and say, Chris, you know what? You gave a good speech. I agree with you. I applaud you. I commend you. There will be others that will say, he's full of crap. I don't like him. So because I don't like him, I'm going to ignore what his message is and just send hatred. And to those who do that, I feel sorry for you, because you will never fill that void in your heart. It's going to be an empty black hole that will consume you and distract you from your purpose. I don't think we were placed on this earth to be evil to one another, to take advantage of one another, to insult one another. I think we were put on this earth to learn a lesson. I'm starting to learn mine, so my salvation, I feel, is evident, because you are who you are. And I hope some of you will change your minds and grow. So for all of you truthers, liberators, freedomists, every one of you, I commend you and thank you. And this is for you. So for all the haters out there, God bless you. To all the good people,